Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our final webinar for 2023. Oh, sorry. On technology ideas to help structure the school day for our autistic learners. My name is Kirstine Stephen, and I'm an assistive technology and additional support needs teacher here at Call Scotland. And I'm delighted to be hosting for my colleague Shirley Lawson this afternoon, who is also an assistive technology and additional support needs teacher here at Call. So this afternoon, Shirley is going to be exploring and sharing some options that will demonstrate how you can use technology to support that predictable environment for our learners that help them to feel safe, even when we have unavoidable changes occurring. I'm going to do a very short slot on visually supported routines. The webinar is going to run for about 20 minutes, and then we'll have some time for some questions and answers. So if you've got any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to drop them into the chat pane, and then I'll facilitate the questions and answers at the end. Our colleague Robert is also here in the background, recording and keeping an eye on things, so thanks for that, Robert. The session will be recorded and you will be sent that link at the end. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Shirley.
That's great. Thanks very much, Kirstine. So welcome to everyone to the webinar today. I'd say we've only got 20 minutes, so it's no mean feat to cover the technologies that can support autistic learners in the school day, but I'll be doing my best to cover at least some of the things, and hopefully some of them are new ideas to you, some of the things that you maybe have heard about but are just going to be reminders for you. So I'm going to give it my best shot there. My experience working with autistic learners comes from my work here at Call Scotland, and also 10 years of providing weekend respite care to a now 18-year-old artistic and autistic young man. So here is Max. And I used technology to support his communication, specifically symbol-supported AAC app, Clicker Communicator, and also the use of the Book Creator app to create social stories for new experiences, such as this visit to the beach that we did. So the use of the iPad sparked off an interest for him in taking photos, and his language over the years went from simple gesturing for me to pass the phone so he could take photos, to him saying a single word of photo, and sometimes using the Clicker Communicator app to find the symbol of the iPhone. But eventually he started to be able to say Shirley's phone photos. So it was quite a big jump over the years. So using technology was motivating for him, and a motivator to extend his language and to develop his interest in art. And so when he saw this photo of himself on the beach, when we were back home, he balanced the phone up so he could see the photo, and then he recreated him holding the fishing rod there out of pipe cleaners. So today we're going to think of the school day for an autistic learner like Max, and I'll be looking at technologies and tools to help create a safe and predictable learning environment and help them cope with unexpected changes to daily routines. So saying clearly I'm going to have just covers a limited amount of things, and there's absolutely, you know, it really is the tip of the iceberg there. But some of the things that we're showing today are tried and tested, and it's always good to know that it's not just things that have that have actually been working with some of the learners that we work with there, and that you may also want to try them out with your learners. So even thinking about the arrival of school, it can be sensory overload with traffic, crowds of people, kids running around the playground, chatting, and it can mean that the autistic child arriving into school can be sometimes agitated and unsettled. And they're bringing parts of their home life with them. You know, they maybe have not had enough sleep, they didn't eat much for breakfast, and their cat might not be well, and so like we all do, and for some we can switch off and get into work mode, but for some autistic learners, they don't have the ability to self-regulate their emotions. So if teachers and parents set up some cloud-based shared portal to feedback information, then transitions can be made easier. So using a OneNote digital notebook, the parent could then type in a note leave an audio note, add in a photo, some sort of way of providing information which could help the staff during the school day best to support or communicate with the child. So I'm just going to show you a little example of a digital notebook that I set up. And really, really simple. So this is OneNote, which is part of the Office 365 suite of applications. Here is a OneNote with two simple sections in it, one for home news and one for school news. You can see in the home news section, we've got 5 pages, one for each day. So the parent, this notebook is shared between the family and the school. So the parent has put in a note here to say, good start to the day, and some information about what they had for breakfast. Very quick and easy. And then because it's a Monday, they've put in some weekend information there. So the teacher can then access that. There's no need to email it over. There's no need to send it, print it. It's just a cloud-based tool that if you're logged into it, you can see that information. And then when we go to the school news thing, we can see on Monday that the teacher has added in a photo there of a piece of artwork that Max has done. So very simply just using the insert tools at the top here, but also added in a little audio file about what he thought about his drawing there. So again, really nice homeschool communication in this OneNote digital notebook. There's many other ways you can be doing that, whether you're using Teams, Google Classroom, perhaps Seesaw, but some way where you've got that two-way communication can really help start the school day off perhaps a little bit easier. Okay, so thinking about in the school, an inclusive school environment is one which we say is predictable and safe. And we want the environment to be communication-friendly setting. And if we use symbols to label everything, then it promotes the communication skills of all children. We use technology to print out the symbols, and these ones here, they're part of the widget communication friendly environment pack, and there's many others to choose from. So with symbol software, you can personalize and print labels really easily and quickly. And the main thing about using them is to have the consistency with the labeling. So an autistic learner may look around a school and know what's behind each door because it's clearly labelled. But then they move to a different part of the school and there's no labels on the door, and it can be very unsettling. So as part of the Call Scotland website, we have Symbols for All, which provides teaching resources in accessible formats for learners with additional support needs. And the resources are designed to support the introduction of picture symbols and their use in everyday activities by providing a core starter set. So there's symbols for the environment and the learner, which can be used either as a whole school resource or for individual pupils. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like there. So here we have what everybody loves, ready-made resources, and here we have a free printable and interactive curricular resources. And if you have BoardMaker or Imprint 3 software, you can edit and personalize these resources. So if I was just to put in a quick search for maths, let's see what that brings up. Okay, so we've got a maths word help sheet here. So very nice, simple, easy, symbol supported math sheet that you can then print out and use. And if you have the software, you can edit that there. So that came from our Symbols for All sort of mini website, which is part of the Call Scotland. So we know routines are important. The familiarity of setting and people are important too, but we know that in a school setting, changes are inevitable. What if the pupil support assistant is off and a new person appears? How can we get this supply pupil support assistant up to speed on the needs of the child, and how can we provide reassurance about this person to the autistic child? Personal communication passports are really a practical and person-centred way of supporting children and also adults who cannot easily speak for themselves. And a communication passport pulls together complex information about the individual and presents in an easy-to-use format. We want these passports to be in a digital version so that it can be easily updated and accessed. And one school I heard about, it was a great idea. They had provided an iPad to a pupil support assistant who came in to work with a specific pupil. And then that child's pupil personal communication passport was airdropped to this iPad. And therefore, the new person coming in as supply had time to read through it before they actually worked with the child. But they were also encouraged to go through it together with the child as an icebreaker activity, and to add in a page at the end which was called My New Helper. Take a photo, perhaps even a selfie of both of you together, and that was really would help cement the working relationship there. So this one here on the screen, this was made in Book Creator. It's a fantastic multimedia app which you can use photos, video, add in audio, type in, you can write in as well if you finger using a stylus, and you've got lots of different formats for it. And then you can read it as a kind of book format, and it's even got text to speech as well there. So the next bit that we're going to look at is using Boardmaker routine and help to structure the day for autistic learners, help them keep engaged and motivated to learn. So I'm going to stop sharing just now and just pass you over quickly to Kirstine.
Thanks, Shirley. Just gonna make sure that I share with sound. Okay, so we're just looking here at the visual supported routine of a Monday morning. So we're thinking about predictable elements of a routine, and it's essential that these, if they are high tech, that they are saved and available for anyone who might need to cover at short notice. And that means even with a change of adult, that there's consistency for the learners. It's that word again, consistency. It might be low tech, and it might be that these are printed off and kept in a folder. That's certainly, I've done that myself as a backup plan, because everyone knows then where they are, and that is key. So just going to quickly demonstrate. Hopefully you will be able to hear my sound. Just turn it up a bit.
Good morning.
You able to hear that all right, Shirley?
Yep, that came through.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to go to our good morning routine, which is then broken down even further. We know when there is a predictable routine, it's providing that safe and secure environment, but there's more. When your learners trust you to provide them with that predictable routine, it supports regulation, and it is much more likely to ensure engagement with that particular activity. So let's go in.
Say hello.
So I've got Scottish voices set up on my laptop, and so it's easy to integrate them within this Boardmaker 7 software. We're given options,
How do you want to say hi?
and again, audio and visual, and our learners can come up and select from the board their option. We're finished. We're bringing it down. And next.
Who's here?
So all part of a predictable routine. Who is here? So in terms of the search framework, we know that a predictable and a desirable environment is a key element to supporting emotional regulation. That's not to say that there can't be any flexibility, just that it needs to be in a very supported way. So with photographic supports for who's here, then that's very easy to, it doesn't matter if there is a change in personnel. So not only would I have the pupils on here, but I would have the adults that are working with the children. So
Shirley is here. Kirstine is here. Joanna is not here. Paul is not here. Craig is not here. Robert is here.
So regardless of who is here or who isn't here, it doesn't matter. It's easy to see and to hear, and it's an easy way to support change. So it's also possible to change the order of events. It might not be that we go along the line. If a particular pupil needs to go to the toilet, for example, and they are really keen to be part of one element, then we can change the order. And it's possible to do that so long as the learners know that all the activities will be completed before moving on. So it's down to knowing your learners there and being clear that even changing the order is okay, and we're not just taking them away. So when we're finished the activities, we could go through each one. So we're going back now. So our good morning routine is finished. I'm skipping through this because I'm aware of time. And next we're on to
Group work.
okay, so our group work. Now I've called this who is next. It might be who is first, but it's very easy to amend this group task if we have pupils who are not here today. So this is a spinner activity that's going to, it might be that you go for who is next. It depends. It could be table names, not individuals. But if we were talking about selecting, if we were working with a small group and we did have pupils who weren't here, for example, we know that Joanna is not here today. I would be able to amend that very easily by editing my activity before working on it with the pupils. So I'm going to go to that page in the activity and I'm going to right click and I'm going to be able to send that to the back. So I would do that for those who weren't there that day. If I was using this as a repeated activity, it might be once the learner had had their turn, I might then be able to send it to the back. So very easy to adapt depending who is there or who's already had their turn. But as I've said, you know, how you would use that, because we would obviously don't want to cause any distress or dysregulation, and it's about knowing the learners. So that could be very easily adapted for different activities. So I know that was a whistle stop, but I'll pass back to Shirley there.
Thanks, Christine. Okay, so moving on in the school day, a structured day must include planned breaks and planned activities in these breaks. And again, technology is a good way for some learners to remove themselves from perhaps sensory overload, which can even happen in a small class setting. Erica Sandstrom, also known as a Green Screen Gal on X, has developed a stress-reducing breathing bubble activity that can be personalised with the child's favourite character or scene. And so really anything that can be personalised has got really so much more effect. I'll show you, this was one that was created for a child who liked Mario, so just a little activity here. So it's very much a breathing one that you would want to model with them first, and then perhaps they could go and listen to it and just have the breathing. Oh, it looks like it's not going to switch on just now. Very simple, just breaths taken and then in and out. And then they could probably have some kind of timer on the activity so that they're then able to know how long you want them to be listening to that there. In the same way, the puppet games are really popular as well, and there's a very simple free app that you can get for the iPad, the puppet game one. So the puppet game one looks like this. So I had a learner who didn't want to use the actual physical game, but was very happy to use the game on here. So just clicking on popping the very simple. You can choose whether music on or music off. You can choose the item you wanted, but also he did actually really want to go off and watch a video on YouTube as well. We're trying to keep him helping with the focus on the activity. So that's when I was thinking, well, do you want to switch on guided access to lock them into just using that one app? So I can do that on the iPad by going to accessibility and down the right hand side, down at the bottom, I've got guided access on. So putting an app into guided access, you can limit the amount of time. You can put a time limit on it, or you can make it so that they need to put a passcode in to get out of it. So it can be a really good way for focusing there. So that would be one option in terms of using technology there to do that. So when we're thinking about other activities that we might be doing using the iPad, this app is absolutely fantastic. The Bitsboard app, great also because it's free, but it's very, very good to support literacy and numeracy activities. So any activity you can personalize definitely increases the chance of it being engaging. But I think that's a common theme that we're talking about, and which also increases the chance of learning taking place. So for one learner who has a particular interest in farms and farm machinery, you can set up a literacy activity with these farm words and photos, and the app will automatically create a range of games using the same words but in different formats. So here's an example of 3 simple games. So using a tractor, you've got the chance of doing a jigsaw, there's matching activities, there's trying to create the word with a selection of letters. There's even tracing the words so that you're actually using your fine motor skills as well. So lots in there, and it's a really, really good one to be able to do there. So this particular learner liked to watch tractor videos, but was also encouraged to look at websites and to use text-to-speech to listen to the text being read out loud. And there was a good scheme in place in the class where they would actually place physical objects beside a laminated QR code. And the learners actually got very good at taking the iPad, using the camera feature, hovering over the QR code, and that would take them to a website on tractors or farming or whatever the QR code had been set up to do. And then when they were using the iPad, they were really just plugging in and using the built-in speak screen on the iPad to have that spoken out. So when we go back to thinking about the OneNote digital notebook, where they were sharing information with parents and families, there was one parent that decided, well, actually, what could I do on my Windows laptop? So they managed to bring up some information on the Windows laptop, and then using what we've got here switched on, we have got immersive reader mode. So if I take it out of immersive reader mode, it looks like this. But to support the reading experience, I just put it into immersive reader mode, and now you can see how much more accessible it is. So one of the good features under the book icon there, I've got picture dictionary switched on. So now when I click on the words, I'm going to get some picture support there, and that can be really helpful. But not only that, I've got the chance to focus really close into the line of text I'm wanting to listen to, and then I have got the chance to actually have it all read out loud by clicking on the text to speech. So really, really good tool there, text to speech to support learning. So it wasn't just thinking that it was only videos that they wanted to watch. It was actually really good for them to actually see words, listen to words, but have the support of assistive technology in there. And I think with all learners, especially autistic learners, we must set our expectations high of them and offer a range of literacy experiences with appropriate assistive technology tools to access them there, and also to use technology in fun ways. You know, I think of another example just on this particular learner who loved tractors, and so what we were able to do is they would take a photo of a tractor, go to the Photos app there. Now, when I put my finger down on that actual picture, then it will kind of cut out a silhouette of the picture and allow me to add it in as a sticker. So it just means that when I go to do perhaps a writing activity, and I'm going to be writing in here, and I go to my emojis, you can see on the left-hand side here, I have got the tractor coming in there, so I can pop a tractor in at any point in the page there. And that's so good to be able to have that writing thing there. So something really, really simple, but very, very effective, specifically for this learner that I'm thinking about there. So let's just have a quick wrap up of everything that we've covered there. And actually, just thinking of all the things, amazingly, in this 20 minutes or 25 minutes, we have touched on a number of different technologies of which you can see on the page there. So I'm sure you've got lots of others that you've been using, but hopefully in this session, you've maybe just picked up one idea that's something new that perhaps you could try there. So happy to take any questions now if anybody wants to type anything in the chat. I don't know if there has been any in there, Kirstine.
Yeah, I think I've managed to answer one or two. So we had somebody looking for the Symbols for All website. I've popped that address in. A couple of questions on the board maker software, wondering how I'd made the Monday schedule. So I was explaining that there are lots of interactive templates, and it was a combination of a couple of templates there, and the spinner one, where to find that was on the interactive one as well. Just a question that's just come in there. Let me just scroll back down. Somebody looking for the name of the program. Oh, to allow the immersive reader. So that was within the Edge browser, I think you were using there. Was
so
it Shirley?
the example that I showed, the example was actually in just using it in Microsoft Word, and it was actually Word Online, but it is available in, if you've got installed Word 2016, it's available in the Edge browser if you're looking at websites. But it works across all the Office 365 applications, but fantastic tools, and especially that picture dictionary one we're talking about, symbol support being so important.
Absolutely. I loved the one with creating the sticker. That was a new one for me. So that was
yes. No, that is a good one. And I say any time you're doing any writing or application, you can just add in your own personalized stickers.
Yeah, that was great. Any other questions on anything that people saw today? Nice feedback there, Shirley. Yes, it has been, the session has been recorded, Joanne, so it will be sent out, and it'll be available on our YouTube channel as well.
And please do share it with colleagues that perhaps have missed it or would be interested. These are our contact details, and if you even think of anything later on, please do get in touch and keep in touch with us at Call Scotland. We have lots of information and resources and lots of good professional learning opportunities as well. So please do have a look at our website and sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah, somebody asking there if I can share the Monday schedule. Yeah, I can put up a copy into the chat.
Great. I see a question coming in about recommendation for funding for iPads. It very much depend where you are. Not off the top of my head, I would think it would be, as I say, depending where you are and what setting you would be in. Good. I'm glad you found it helpful and interesting. Good. Thank you. And as Kirstine had up at the beginning, lots of new webinars for our programme next year, but this is the final one of the year just now. So thank you for coming along today, and if you've joined other ones as well, it's great that we're still able to offer them for free. And then, as they say, they sit on our website as an archive, so you can go and watch this one again, or perhaps look to see some of the other ones that we've done over the year. So thank you, Robert, for recording and for doing all this, sending everything out to everyone. Thank you, Kirstine, for hosting. Yep. And thanks, Shirley. I'll just say goodbye for now. Thank you very much.
Have a nice evening, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.